Hey everybody, MrBookieboo here, and I am happy to say that the mountains are back. You can see this view. This is pretty crazy, but this gives you a pretty good idea of how tall the city is and the mountains behind me. I mean, they're like over my head now. So this is pretty cool, pretty exciting stuff. I finally got this table behind me to the right height that I was looking for. I've got more lighting going on. I've got more terrain features in. We've got all kinds of stuff. So let's jump in and let's see what's new in the city. All right, so as I mentioned, the big thing that's new is all these mountains that are behind me. So these are the same mountains that I used before. I just put them back there. I might modify them at some point. We'll see. But for now, I'm really excited with the depth and the different layers of the new layout that you see here. We'll get a closer look at that in just a minute. And then also I've been working on the sides as well. So there's been quite a bit of, I don't know, I'm just cranking along with content right now in the city, just making things, switching things up, moving things around, building new stuff. So it's been a lot of fun. It's been really busy. It's been cool. But I really like how, as you can see here, how the city kind of surrounds you as you stand in the middle of the U here. It's pretty awesome, and it's pretty, it's got that effect that I was looking for. It's just kind of, it makes you feel like you're part of the city even more than it ever did before. And it's partly because of the heights, because we have so much height behind now on the upper levels that it just really makes you feel like you're a part of the Lego world, which I'm really, really excited about. So this is kind of a closer view of what we were just looking at, where I was standing in the way, but now I got out of the way so you can see the city better. But this is what I'm talking about with the layering. It's really starting to pop now because you see the row of modulars in the foreground, you see modulars behind that, and then you see the mountain ranges peeking out beyond that. Now the camera's pretty low, but if I'm standing at like normal, like adult height, that's when you really start to see the depth. And you really start to see how things are shaping up here. And it's pretty cool. I'm pretty impressed. I had a feeling that this was gonna be neat, but I had no idea it was gonna be as awesome as it feels. It's just really cool. And even the Disney Castle peeking out over there, which I still have to get the lights plugged in for, even that it kind of feels like it's almost like a part of the city, but it's just off in the distance. So this whole area is just really coming together nicely. I'm still on the fence with Ghostbusters back there because it is such a tall building. I think it detracts from the mountains a little bit. I don't know, what do you guys think? I know a few of you gave me some great feedback as far as the Daily Bugle goes. And as we move over here, this is kind of where it's ended up for now. I actually got some really good feedback from my son as well. And he said that he liked it here and he had all kinds of ideas of incorporating this in Ninjago Land. He gave me a whole a speech the other night about all the things that I should do. So he has some great ideas here. But I don't know if Ghostbusters actually would fit down here or if it would kind of overpower Ninjago Land, which is in this area right that you see right here. So I don't know. But for now, the Bugle's there. It kind of frames off this area as well, and it kind of like seals off the city a little bit, so it just doesn't kind of flow out to like the displays beyond there, which you can see, actually I've got the pirate ships up on the mantle, which I'm pretty excited about. I think that looks really nice. Really makes them kind of shine up there. Ninjago Land is pretty much unchanged for right now. I still can't figure out the placement. And actually, if we back up here, you can kind of see. So I really like this frontage right here with the tall buildings and how they all connect together. I don't like the official Lego version where they put the docks in between the two, even though the pieces line up a lot better that way. But I feel like this just really gives you like a hustle and bustle and a really busy city feel. And so it's really something that I really like. And then the docks on the side, it just kind of transitions that out. But I don't know, I'm still on the fence with this, trying to figure out exactly how I want to do the Ninjago Land. So we'll see. Same thing on this area over here. I'm still working on this area. So for now, at the advice of quite a few different friends, I made this like a little construction area right here. Kind of like the road, they're working on it, which I think works for now, but we'll see. I got to add some landscaping. These are all the minifigures that are yet to go into the city. This right here, still haven't done any work. I'm still kind of conceptualizing and figuring out what I want to do. I think it's too tall if I put a modular on top of here, but maybe some of my smaller modulars might work instead. Yeah, I don't know. I gotta think about that. And then the same thing with the facades. So facades are kind of going to be along the back, along the wall here. And these I just temporarily placed. I really like the hospital. But now actually the really neat thing is because I have more space back there, I could actually make the hospital bigger and more substantial. Same thing with the condo, and actually the other facades that I have as well. They can actually almost be at least 16 wide buildings, if not bigger. So I have a lot more you know, opportunity to do stuff in that space now, which is pretty exciting. As we move forward, you can see, again, not much has changed in this area. I gotta get the lights going here. I haven't had a chance to get the lights up. They're all wired. I just have to, you know, get the wires behind the table and then drop everything underneath and get it all plugged in. But that's definitely something I'm gonna work on really soon. Here, I've got the intersection figured out. And actually, I was debating on putting a crosswalk right here. But actually what I thought I could do is I think I have just enough room for a pretty skinny but simple train platform right here. And so I'm going to try to put a platform right in here in this space between the road and the tracks. I think it'll fit. We'll see. It's going to be pretty narrow. It's only going to be about 4 studs wide, but I think that might be enough for the minifigures to get up there and get on the train. And it'll just give you some visual interest in this area right here instead of, you know, the track with the road and just like maybe a fence or something in between there. So that's something I'm going to be working on real soon. Same thing over here with the crossing. So I love having the level crossing. I'm still tweaking the gates, trying to figure out exactly where I want them. And then there's actually going to be a pedestrian crossing across here. And then there'll probably be like fencing over here to block off that area of the, you know, of the sidewalk. But I'm going to make this all kind of flow. Haven't done much work with the tunnels. I have to build the top of that tunnel portal that you see there with the road, for the road and the trains. But the walls, retaining walls, actually I've done a lot of work on the other side, which I'll show you as we go around the layout, because I know you guys want to see the behind the scenes stuff. And then the top, still playing around with the placement of these modulars up here. Grand Emporium, I think looks pretty cool there. I have room for another modular, like a full-size modular directly to the side of it, right up in this area. But if I move the Grand Emporium even further this way, I can actually probably fit like 1.5 more modulars there. And then of course with the Ghostbusters, it can either stay there or I can move it, and then that frees up space for another modular down the road as well, if I want to, if I find another spot for it. But let's take a look. So we'll pan through here real quick and you can see the city with the mountains peeking out behind. And we're pretty close right now, so you kind of lose a little bit of perspective with the mountains. But as we move to this area, so I'm still kind of digging the tunnel portal here instead of having this open and building this out like a platform here. So it actually ends up, if I build it out right, I'll have enough space to actually put another modular up high here, full-size modular, which I could put a corner even. Here is what I'm thinking. So that's definitely an opportunity. And then maybe some stairs here going down into where the Daily Bugle is. Now, the area that I have, there's not a whole lot of room here. We get kind of like a bird's eye view. There's a pretty large space right here. I don't know if we're ever going to get another Ninjago, you know, large like set. I've heard rumors, and then the rumors weren't true, and then I've heard other rumors, and so the rumors keep going back and forth. If we're going to get another set to complement these, like to kind of fill out the last, I don't know, section. Who knows? I don't want to wait, but I could, you know, so I don't know. But I mean, Ghostbusters, you know, you could maybe put it here, but then it's going to stick out, and I don't think it really fits with the rest of Ninjago Land here. It's just the aesthetic of it is just too different. It's too big to fit up here. It would stick out too far, and I can't really put it that way unless I move the Bugle forward and put Ghostbusters at a higher level. Oh, actually, there you go. See, it helps to brainstorm and come up with ideas. So maybe that's one option. I don't know and then I have 2 firehouses really close to one another, but I could put Ghostbusters kind of facing this way behind the Bugle, move the Bugle forward. Huh, that's an interesting idea. I might have to play around with that. See? I don't know. What do you guys think about that? I just thought about that. That's one thing that you could do. Oh, then the only problem with that is that then the ugly back of the Ghostbusters have a really ugly backside. is going to be showing facing this way. That'd be the only downside to that. And then you wouldn't get to see the front of it ever because the front is facing that way. Yeah, I don't know about that. I don't know. Let me know what you guys think. But let's move along. And you can see this is the other side here. So I do have almost 32 studs worth of space here. Actually, this panel wall is going to go over here, but I'm waiting on more panels. So I guess I kind of knew, but I didn't know completely. But so when you start building out with these panels instead of bricks, I figure, oh, this will be a much cheaper, simpler alternative. Because I don't like the exposed edges that you see here and up there. So I was like, oh, I'll fill it in with panels. Well, I ordered a huge panel order, and this barely covers like the bottom part over here, barely. The rest of it, you know, so I ordered more panels, they're on their way. So eventually we'll have enough panels to wall that off. Same thing on the side over there. There's gonna be retaining walls, but then I think I'm gonna panel that extreme edge over there. Now, let's get to the good stuff, because you guys wanna see how this all kind of fits together. So again, you get a good view from here. Still, the city looks pretty impressive. I like with the skyscrapers in the foreground because it gives you a lot of depth. And as you get higher, you can really see how the layout is built out, which I just really love this look. And the footprint, because it's much smaller. It's probably half the size of my previous layouts that I've attempted, but it still has everything, almost everything that I want. The only thing that I would love to have that I can't figure out where to put would be like a beach or something like that. But, you know, again, even as you come this way, you still get this great feeling of how everything's built. So this is the area where I've been really working right here. I've built out these rock walls and fencing. Actually, I just widened this because I initially had the fence right up against the modulars. And then the sidewalks, as you can see, would have been really narrow. So this is the new layout. I have to tile this and finish it off, but the sidewalks are gonna be a little bit wider, which I think is gonna be really nice. It gives the minifigures more room to walk. It's not as crowded. And this space down here, it doesn't really matter, the space in between, because it's the backside of the modular, right? You're never gonna really see that. Now, let's take a look at the mountains. So the mountains are completely unchanged from how I built them. At some point I may change them because like I have like tunnel portals that I don't need. I have retaining walls that I don't really need anymore. And, you know, but the tops I really like. So I don't know if it's worth it to rebuild the bottom just to, you know, just to get rid of those pieces. I don't know. I kind of like how it is, but you can see, so this is the table. So this is actually a solid corridor. It's not a hollow core door because hollow core has got like cardboard in the middle and it's really flimsy. This is solid all the way through. It's solid wood. It's really heavy. And then these are just some custom steel legs that I had made. They're just really simple. You can get this stuff in like the electrical department or the irrigation department. It's just like simple piping with these foot things. You can see them better if I scroll down to the bottom. And that's my air purifier that runs, that keeps all the dust out of the room. But you can see how it's really stable. It's really strong. And that's what the mountains sit on. These legs are about 4 feet high, so it's custom height. And that's pretty much how it looks. You can get a peek back here again. You can see the return loop for the train on the upper level, the lower level for the trains. This is actually a siding, so I can actually swap out trains on the fly if I want to. And then of course this shelf is all the electrical for the area that you see in front here. So that's kind of gives you a look, and then you can see the wires running down. It's kind of messy. I'm not sure how to clean that up. I'll probably maybe, you know, work on that because I don't want to snag a wire and pull a modular accidentally at some point, but we'll see how that goes. All right, coming back over this way, again, you can see this area right here where I'm thinking of making this just a solid platform, hiding the loop for the trains, making the tunnel there, and just extending this out. You can see how a 32 by 32 modular would easily fit in this area. And it just gives me one more slot for a future modular or a mock or something like that. So I think that's probably a good idea. I'm really leaning heavily towards that. It's just, I don't know what modular I might put there. I could maybe move the brick bank and put that there. Rumor has it we're getting another corner modular this year, so maybe that'll look really good here next to the Bugle. I might just wait until, you know, we get pictures of that new modular, which should be coming out fairly soon. The roads, you can see, this is pretty much complete. The curbs are in. The little sewer drains are all in. These are modified from the last version that I did. It's actually one stud narrower on the sides. So the old ones were 20 studs wide. These are 18. It's just a space saving measure. It also saves on parts dramatically. I had a whole bunch of 2x16, 2x8, 2x12 plates I was using before. Now it's just 1 by whatever length, plates and tiles. And so you save a lot of pieces by shrinking this a little bit. And I haven't really noticed anything big issue with the roads. The Flintmobile, for the Flintstones down there, that's like a pretty wide car and it fits on the road. So I think it's okay. I think it's going to be fine. Again, this area, the back of the Daily Bugle, which the Daily Bugle is actually pretty interesting because it's visually interesting front and back. So by having it here, you get to see a lot of the detail that you would never get to see if it had its back against the wall, which I'm really kind of excited about, So it's pretty cool. Again, I really am liking the placement of this here or somewhere in this vicinity. So we'll see. And then just moving back over here real quick, I still have to put the retaining walls in the front here. This is really unfinished, but you can see the walls are waiting. I have to raise the height. So my new tabletops, they're 2 inches taller than the old ones. They were about 6-inch tall legs before, and you can see one of the legs I'm using. These are steel furniture legs. They're adjustable, so you can fine tune the height and get it nice and level. But they're 8 inches instead of 6 inches that I had before. The extra height helps because now I used to have some issues with clearance with some of the trains, especially the crocodile. The pantographs were just way too tall. Now it would actually, I think it would fit. I haven't tried it yet, but I'm pretty sure it would fit underneath the tables. But as a result, I have to raise up all of these walls sections that I built. So that's something that I'll do. And actually what I did over here is I just cheated. I used my existing wall sections, but I just put some burps underneath there. The problem right here is that since this table is really close, it's only about 2 studs difference. I can't really do that because those burps stick out a lot more than 2 studs. So I'm gonna have to figure out something else. I might just stretch the arches a little bit, make them taller, something like that. We'll see. It ends up being actually about 6 bricks higher than the old versions of the walls. So it's pretty substantial, but also pretty cool. All right, so that's pretty much it. It's been a busy week again, right? I've got a lot of stuff done, a lot to go. I got to start doing a lot of the detail work, but that's kind of where the fun comes in. Now that like the core structure of the layout is set, there's still some tweaking here and there. Some modulars might move around and make some different appearances, but overall, like certain areas I'm pretty much happy with and comfortable with. So now I really feel like I can start putting in a lot of the detail work, adding the landscaping, minifigures, cars, all that fun stuff. And that's where a lot of the fun goes into it for me. In addition to planning the city is fun as well, right? But just keep in mind, so as you guys build your cities, because I know I get a lot of questions about that, it helps if you go in with a plan. But having said that, remember that plans change, and don't be afraid once you get in and start like moving things around and say, oh, wait, this isn't working right. Don't be afraid to change the plan because, it's part of the fun. It's Lego. It's easy to switch and move around, especially if you're working with like pre-made modulars and stuff. You're not losing that much time just trying different things and seeing. And that's what I've been doing. I had kind of the concept of what I wanted. I had a vision. I mapped it out. I actually made a small like miniaturized version of it out of Lego just to kind of see how it would look. And I was like, yeah, I think that'll work. And then, I started kind of playing around, made some adjustments. Initially, the mountains were going to be directly behind the modulars like they've always been. But then as I started thinking about it and looking at it, I decided to put the aisleway between the mountains and the modulars, which gives you more forced perspective and puts the mountains further back, which really, I think, makes it really look a lot better. It makes it look more natural because the mountains aren't right on the backside of the modulars, and it gives more depth as you look because it really makes things more open and stuff. And then plus I have a really neat access way where I have storage underneath to get all the boxes and junk that I have underneath the tables. So it's a win-win all the way around. And also you can maintenance and like if you need to get to the modulars for some reason, like the second row, you're not reaching over the first row to get to the second row. So it makes it really nice. So little thoughts like that as you plan.
you know, you can come up with ideas and change things around and switch things, and it really makes it nice. It's really a neat, it's nice to be adaptable. So that's probably the best piece of advice I can give you, is make that plan, but don't be afraid to change it. You know, don't have to feel like you have to stick to it, and modify as you go and have fun. That's the most important part, right? So, all right, well, thanks for watching. I appreciate you guys. Thanks for all the likes, comments, feedback, suggestions. You guys are awesome. I really appreciate all of you. You know, you guys are what makes this hobby, it takes us to the next level. I used to do this all by myself before I reached out to people and started posting online, and, you know, it was fun, but interacting with the community takes it like to the next level of fun, because I get more ideas and just sharing and just being part of the communities. I just love it so much. So I really appreciate that. So thank you guys. So make sure you're subscribed. We'll do some more videos soon, and I'll give you more updates, because things are really starting to shake in the city here. All right, take care. Bye.